Gracias, Presidenta.
Thank you very much. The European Parliament is the only directly elected institution and a legislative institution in the world. We are the democratic expression of diversity and the complexity of European integration. We come from 27 member states that weren't dissolved because we have an EU, and we'll have elections on the 9th of June. And I'm saying this to remind you that we have a legislative procedure, and it's been quite tricky, but of course it was going to be tricky, and none of the negotiators that have taken part in this can be completely happy. And neither am I. I've heard legitimate criticism leveled against this, and I respect it. But I've also heard disinformation and information that is not true, and arguments that can be refuted in what will be a historic vote. But I would like to say that I truly respect humanitarian organizations that have criticized this. We have the UN Commissioner for Human Rights, the Commissioner for Refugees, and others that have hailed this pact as an important positive step forward. But to those humanitarian organizations that have criticized, I make your criticism mine, and I have fought for this during every single negotiating session to try and put your views across. But at the same time, I can say that we are members of the European Parliament, and we are not activists here in this House. We have been elected to decide and to legislate, and not to engage in incendiary discourse which is sterile. We are here to take decisions to make things happen. The alternative to not voting on the individual elements of this package is worse. Not only will that mean that the status quo will continue, and that every time we have a plenary session we'll be saying that it's shameful, it's disgraceful that the EU is not doing anything about the right to migration and asylum. We have tried and we haven't managed. It's not about that, but the situation, if we don't go for this, would be even worse. The EU would not, and citizens would feel that the EU cannot act even though it's tried. So after all these years of work, it is worth taking one step forward despite the limitations. There has to be order, there have to be safeguards and common rules where there weren't any, and we're going to vote in favor of every single element of this pact. Thanks. Thank you.